Hello and welcome to Trailer Talk. We're your hosts Dora Grabkowska
and Vera Sander.
And today we have not one but two incredible guests. They're amazing freeriders and they all-round creatives who express themselves creatively on and off the bikes. So welcome Kaos Seagrave and Sam HODGSON.
Whoa.
Yo.
We wanted to interview you guys together because you're really good friends, you ride and dig together all the time, you like live just down the road from each other. So tell us how you guys met.
Darkfest?
Darkfest, yeah. But
Yeah.
it was on a call actually, when you were down at
On a call?
at Pilgrims
What?
with Elliot, when Elliot used to live there.
Really?
So we got the same. We used to have Elliot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have the same athlete manager, and I was calling him, and he was like, "Oh, Hodge has just got into Darkfest, and you're going to meet him there." And then you were building. Remember Pilgrim's old?
Yeah.
jumps that
I
you
was
built?
building Pilgrim's jumps
Yeah.
this guy.
And then Darkfest. So fully was Darkfest, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How many Darkfests ago?
Quite a few.
It was your first.
You'd been to one before.
So
So it was your second one.
5. Yeah, so 5.
Many. Too many to count.
Yeah, 5 Darkfests
Yeah,
ago, because
yeah.
this will be my 6th.
Wow, thinking myself
Wow.
back then.
Veterans of Darkfest.
After Squidward,
Oh,
yeah.
no, don't say that.
Isn't it? Gotten a few.
Yeah, we were not the Goms anymore, aren't
Oh, I still feel like a grom.
we? Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
quite far in your career at that point. So could you tell us a bit more about your upbringing? How did you get into biking and where did you grow up?
So quite different, wasn't it? Because
Yeah,
I was a racer, so I grew up racing in Morsing, and obviously with the team and with Tane. So just growing up in Morsing was, back then it was just downhill. So it was just trying to go as fast as I could down Plenty and trying to follow my sister. And then
Sweet.
The race
How
of
about
life.
race of
Yeah.
life. Yours was
Yeah.
a bit different.
How about you, Sam?
Mine was like, I wouldn't even know what to call it really, but just, I guess like jump bikes and hardtails and just doing tricks. There's a massive bumblebee behind you. Oh my god,
all day.
it's huge.
I think it's kind of a vibe though.
It's sick, look at it. It's like if Otis was a bee.
Bee.
You got anything to say?
Hello mate.
How are you, mate?
Be shy.
But anyway, sorry. That just really took me by surprise. Like a lot of digging and a lot of just riding jump bikes, I guess. Kind of like transitioning slowly into freeride. But like never really rode a downhill bike until Darkfest, actually. So yeah, it was kind of a bit touch and go. But yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty sick, because it's cool how like you guys kind of came from like completely different types of riding and different scenes, but then you've both ended in like a free ride big air sort of
Yeah.
sort of thing.
And I think they complement each other super well. Like we both
Yeah.
kind of make each other do tricks that like the other ones develop more
Yeah,
through their life.
exactly.
For
you know?
sure.
Like,
Yeah, I've seen you guys teach each other like different things, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Because you obviously have like, you come from different skill sets, but
I'd say we
Yeah.
have like different strengths, but they like all come together, you know?
for sure.
Like when one needs, it's always like there's like, I'll be seshing something, trying it, and like Chaos will just give me a sentence like, oh, just try and like do this one thing differently, and then it's like,
Boom.
you know, I
Yeah.
just needed
Locked
that
in.
like,
Yeah.
And that was like with the flip super seats.
yeah.
You just look at your seat or
Yeah.
look at down, and I was like, oh, and then
And
it
it-
just worked.
So
Look at that.
Yeah,
That's
so
sick,
just,
isn't
learning
it?
off each
there's
other.
stuff that I wouldn't have learned before.
Yeah.
Or wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
'Cause,
But now he has me to bully
Yeah,
him.
but in the end of doing it. Because it's good. You don't tell someone, or kind of, but you kind of think like there's a 90% chance they could land it, or even a bit less sometimes. But you know that it's more than 50 sometimes.
I feel like you like to push it and just tell people like, yeah, you got it.
Nah,
and it's like,
if I know you got it, in some
No,
way.
for sure, for
yeah. So that's
Right.
what's
Yeah,
pretty
for
good.
sure.
You just have someone to.
I feel
Yeah.
to
like
like
when
give
I
you the belief.
call you a trick, like 90% of the time you're fucked off.
I don't want to do it.
Because you do, but you do. The reason you're fucked off is because you do want to do it, and I know you want to do
can,
it, but you
you're
also
like,
don't want to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
I could just do a flat spin or a whip though.
Yeah.
And it's the
That's
same
sick,
the other
though.
way around.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what should I do? And then I always regret it, but also I don't. I literally like the opposite of regretting it when I land it.
Oh, when
in
you
the
land
moment
it,
when I've
yeah.
got to try it, I'm like, fuck.
Are you ever like, fuck you for saying
you,
that?
like,
Yeah, literally every time.
In the volume, like, oh, fucking again.
In it. Then either like huge celebration or a huge E coming up.
Or,
You know.
or just you're still on the running, and all you can hear from the bottom is,
Either way, it's gonna be huge.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like you've been to so many events together and you've done some like projects together, like digging wise and stuff. How do you like? What have you learned from each other? You've kind of just like sort of gone over that, but any specific things that you like feel like you've learned from the other one?
I learned that like
Yeah, go on.
What's he learned?
Yeah, go on.
I learned this just popped up like that you can like see things like the way that you communicate with people and have conversations and shit, like the way that you mean a conversation and the way that like someone hears it, like in the way that they would say it would mean a different thing, you know, so to them it can seem something different, but in the way you say it means a certain thing. And Chaos helped me learn like that, like just because you would say it in this way doesn't mean that it sounds like that to someone else. Does that make sense?
Cool.
Yeah, sick.
Basically, I think I'm always right, and
Yeah. Yeah.
You say something horrible.
So
you're like,
literally
"Oh, I
shit
didn't
can come
mean
out
it."
his mouth and he still thinks it's right.
literally, as long as you have confidence,
Yeah.
then
But I think I learned that, like, because obviously, like, doing a big project like Unhinged, oh, she's cutting the cake, come on. Yeah, doing a big, like, project
yeah, 'cause
like
we done two of
Unhinged,
them.
you know?
Yeah, we did two.
Yeah,
And, like, I've
Unhinged
only ever either
sick.
worked, like,
So explain
on...
Unhinged like a little bit. Give it a little
Yeah.
rundown on it.
So Unhinged was my riding videos that I did for 2 years, and as I did Unhinged 1 and Unhinged 2, and Hodgie helped me build it, and we got a land, and yeah, it was just me and him just came up with what would look cool, basically, and
Insane
then we
land.
could just
You
do
landed that insane spot.
Yeah, it's 6 spot. The dirt
It all
was
come
insane,
together
yeah.
so crazy, like,
And then yeah, it was pretty good. We could just do what we
Yeah.
wanted, and then
bit of freedom.
yeah.
And I'd, like, just moved up here, I think.
Yeah, the first one you had just moved up here.
Which I remember just being like, this is the coolest, craziest place in the world. Like,
Yeah.
which I still think, for sure. But,
Definitely.
like, having gone from, like, building mountain bike tracks, kind of like bike park grade mountain bike tracks in the woods, / like a few different, like, trick jumps and stuff for myself. Then it's like, I move up here, and Chaos Seagrave's like, can you build me a crazy set of jumps? I'm like, yeah, like, definitely, that'd be insane. And then, yeah, like, this insane spot and diggers and, you know, everything was going on it. And
Yeah, like on the second one, we were like, oh, we can go a bit bigger this
Yeah.
time, and that hip
yeah,
just went like, because we didn't really know how it would be with a farmer before, because like you're digging somewhere.
just this
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah,
meadow, wasn't it?
beautiful,
Like, yeah,
nice
let's
there.
just gouge into that.
And we went like, what, like 18 to 20 foot deep on one of the bit, and I remember he just came up, and like if you came up, because it was in the ground, so if you came up from the top of the field, it didn't actually, because the hip came out of the ground, so it didn't actually look that big if you came up from the top of the field, but that one day he walks up, like after that, and then he starts walking up from the bottom, and if you walk up from the bottom, all you can see is a 20-foot like dirt wall.
No way.
You go 20 foot deep in my field. And we're like, well,
Learned so much on that
Yeah.
build, actually,
Oh,
what's
no.
possible.
Was he alright with it though?
Yeah, it was sound.
well,
to
he
be
had to be,
fair.
it was what he done.
It was
Yeah.
done. Yeah, like,
Like, get out, guys.
yeah.
But no, luckily there was sound, like honestly insane, just helped us with whatever, and then yeah, they were like so keen. They came up when we were filming, so luckily that was all good.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
farmers just
Sick.
throughers around here.
Yeah.
They love
Yeah.
it. Like, they just like to see
Yeah.
younger people doing cool
shit.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
like,
luckily, yeah, hit the jackpot
Yeah, yeah.
with that, and then
Cool.
isn't it?
had no problems, and
we had 1 week to do the whole second build.
yeah,
One
Just 'cause-
week. That's crazy.
Well, yeah, like digger hire is so expensive.
so expensive.
No
And we
and
way.
had Oscar as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
was-
then
That was the first project I did with Oscar on the second one.
I was away loads.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was the second time was when I stopped, didn't it? So we were that was
Yeah,
when we
yeah.
were just going to.
But you were
events.
like between, you were between being here and there, and so was
Yeah.
I, and we had this week to
Yeah.
do
And
it,
both,
basically.
yeah.
And we did it.
We did it.
Yeah.
But then that was a year when the summer was shit, wasn't it?
What,
It was
like...
filming.
It rained a lot.
Well, yeah, it was all right when we were
weren't
building
digging,
it.
was
Yeah,
dry,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then as soon as we finished the
Yeah.
dig, it just
It was rain,
yeah,
rain, rain,
but
rain, rain,
all
rain.
worked out sick, and
Yeah.
still there.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So yeah,
Insane.
that's where.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
So that was like first sort of project, proper project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with your
together.
mate as well, which is
Yeah.
kind of crazy. Like
Yeah, yeah,
nothing's gonna push your friendship like a thing like that.
Nicely put.
You know?
Definitely
sure,
push
though,
when
like-
you're mates with me.
Yeah. And me. You know?
Is that when
yeah.
you learn to understand that whatever you say might be interpreted wrong?
Yeah, it was. It literally
That's the
was.
project that
like-
taught you.
Yeah,
That's the
for
one
sure.
that caught him. He's like,
For sure.
fuck, I need to say like that now.
Yeah, like, oh, okay.
No way. And
Yeah, but now, friendship from that moment and before was stronger than ever every time.
Blossoming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I learned that he was
A dick.
great.
That's incredible. And speaking of big projects, you've worked on quite a few big film projects and builds as well. How do you sort of fuel your creativity, and how do you take an idea from its sort of like concept to kind of like the end product, to the end shape of it?
Trial and error.
Just mad for it
Yeah.
mentality, I guess, isn't it?
And like, obviously, you have so many ideas, and like we were saying before, we're totally different. We're not totally different, but we are totally different riders.
Yeah.
So you do think of something, and it's just that was what cool is, like two personalities of riding coming together. So you got loads of ideas, and you come up with essentially one. But like some of it, we built it, and then it was like, oh, you just do tweaks to it if it's
Yeah.
not going right. Some of it was bang, that's done. But it's mostly
It's
just
kind of like learning tricks.
yeah.
Like, you just land on your face until you don't, Like, you just try it.
Good approach.
And you're not, like, failing at something. Like, say if you're trying to build something or, create something for a project or create a project in general, like,
Yeah.
you just keep doing it, and then what doesn't work, you change until it does, and then you just keep unfolding the layers until you get to that, till it happens, basically, until you land it.
And sometimes you won't bang it.
Yeah, sometimes bang. Like, and then sometimes, like, you might just think it will never end. And then, it just eventually all the ingredients come together, and then it's like, just
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. And it's like sometimes we've done something and then completely changed it.
Completely changed.
I had to
Go on, let him crawl on you. Crawler.
I'm actually quite allergic to bees. I
come up. We
do have
Be
an
a crawler.
EpiPen.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I think is so cool about your guys' collabs, because you've got more of a downhilly background, more of like a slopey, dirt jumpy stuff. So when you guys work on builds and projects, it's like got flavours of everything in it. That's quite a sick collab. And like obviously you built Unhinged for Chaos, and then you've been like helping us build here at the land, which I think is like quite inspired by the Unhinged build, right?
For sure.
That was like the
Definitely.
next big.
Yeah.
So
Learning what's, like, possible.
Yeah.
For
Super
sure
sick.
contributed so much to this. And I feel like the jump from, like, what I knew before to that, like, I felt it again from, like, that to this.
Definitely.
Yeah,
like from that to this, like even though Unhinged was like insane, and you come here and you're just like,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
You can
What's he
just chill
saying?
there.
Yeah, you can
there.
just...
Sorry.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, exactly. But what will be next? What, like,
What's
if this
next?
is if it was Unhinged, then it's this backyard build that we have here. what's going to be next? How do we go up from
You're
here?
gonna get killed by this bumblebee. That's what's
Yeah.
next.
Maybe
That's
worth
what's
it.
next.
Maybe worth it for
Yeah,
the view.
yeah.
I'm gonna get it.
Should we just put them outside? Well, anyway.
We are back.
Anyway, we're
After a
back.
short break.
And I wanted to know from Sam, obviously I've seen you go from start to finish in a build, like I've seen the madness that goes down, but there's obviously a lot that goes down in here, like in your head, like planning it and the whole process of everything that you're like, I feel like you have it all like visualized in your mind. So can you like give us a bit of an insight into that?
Yeah, like, I guess you can relate it to any sort of move in life where you like visualize it, you know? And like, I take quite a lot of inspiration from loads of different things, like from other stuff people have built, to like skate parks, to just random shapes that I want to get to on my bike that I haven't been able to find in a feature I've ridden before, you know? So I like, through time, I like think of something and then just like build more of an image, you know? And then like sometimes I'd build two things that go together in one, or like, I don't know, see something and imagine it scaled to a different thing. Like, I don't know, I guess like I like visualize things quite a lot, same with tricks, same with everything, and kind of build an image and let it develop.
That's sick. And how do you know how big you should build a jump, for example? Like, how do you know how to, that it's going to be rideable without testing it, I
don't know, I feel like there's like quite a blurry line in visualization of like, if it looks right, I guess.
Yeah.
And like, your speed, I mean, you could mathematically work out, but like what speed you have is relative to, like as you ride bikes, say if you go to a bike park for the first time, you see a tabletop, like from the first time you hit it, like, when you're a kid and you just go flat out and miss the whole thing,
Yeah.
like through life you develop more and more of an idea of like what sort of speed you generate and what transitions and arc through the air that will create. So just like through doing it over and over and over and over again, then you work it out. But it's crazy like building different stuff, because different surfaces run different speeds, and like depending on what the like prevailing wind directions are, and so many different things, like so many different variables to consider. Like here runs like, I would say like 10% faster to other places down south I was used to.
Yeah.
So then like when you build it here and suddenly you've got 10% too much speed, because I don't know, so it's just like adjusting to that really.
Yeah.
I think that's Otis at the door.
Go away. Cool. I have a question for you, Chaos. And it's about the process of becoming a free rider. How did you feel about leaving the race team and kind of going solo and starting your free ride career? Because it's kind of, I can relate it to maybe leaving a full-time job and going freelance, which it can be a bit daunting. How did you feel about that?
By the end of it, I was stoked on it. I didn't want to do the racing anymore. Like, I really didn't want to. So by the end of it, it wasn't like I wasn't going to miss really anything of the racing, just because I've been racing since I was 12, or like how we all start, like so young, and you're always doing it. That's all you do. And then I never thought I'd do anything but ride bikes as fast as I could down the hill. And then I I moved here, and then I started to ride a jump bike more, and like just started riding Revolution and all the spots that we used to ride with Vero.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, like riding's not just going down Plenty or just as fast as I could.
There are different kinds of riding out there.
And then I went to Loose Fest in like 2019, and from then on I was just like, well, this side of biking is just so much fun. And then I did a few years of being like that, like those free races, and then it was just, that was when racing was like, you could do it with just being good at riding bikes.
Yeah.
And like, especially when you're younger, you don't need to rely too much on the like training side. Nowadays, not at all, because the juniors are just as fast. But back when I was in junior and stuff, it wasn't too bad. Yeah. I wasn't the most dead serious racer, but I
Yeah.
still like trying and like going to the gym but not as much as you needed to because I still want to have fun.
Yeah.
And then by the time that got to a bit older, not because like if I was all like going out sessioning or going to a freeride event, the others would be training and
Yeah.
you're just riding a different bike the whole time, and then you go back on your downhill bike, and it was just too hard going from one side to the other every time. And then I was like, right, I just got to choose one. And
Yeah, you got to commit.
yeah, and
to one
freeride
or
was the
other.
one I wanted to commit to.
Sick.
But yeah, like when I was younger, I could do both, but then when I just got older, it's like the people are just so fast now. Like all they do is race,
Yeah.
and I just didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But so yeah, by the end, I was like, yeah, freeride, and not looked back
Sick.
since.
Yeah.
No. Cool.
Sick.
I think like the tricks that you're doing now, like you've got to ride all the time on that bike, not like full on training, but like say recently we've been like,
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
it's not the sort of thing you can do just like randomly.
yeah, like
you know?
yeah, you can't like the tricks that we're doing this week. So I haven't done in a while, but we've been practicing on the airbag, and like
Yeah,
just
we've
after
been training.
digging, we've just been like, oh,
Yeah.
should we have an airbag sesh?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, sick. But before it'd be like, oh, I've been away racing for 4 months,
Yeah.
or 4 months straight, like with the travels in between and stuff. And then it'd be like, oh, now I got to go to Darkfest and try and flip a massive jump or try
Yeah.
and 360 a massive jump. And I've done a 360 in 4 months. But
Yeah.
so
Now it's
True.
like, which crazy trick shall I do this time in
Yeah.
a 360? You know,
Because-
it's like,
because we've been just practicing
Yeah.
360s the whole time.
Yeah.
Which is a type of training. It's just
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
for sure.
It's just not like
Something to be said, like, with the free run and with big air, like, the risk is massive. So, like, you
Yeah.
know, we need to be
pays to be-
prepared,
yeah.
like, especially having this place now, I feel like
Well, this-
we've really knuckled down, because Darkfest, like, to ride it safely, like, you can go there and huck your meat, but, like, the chances are you're gonna fucking make a pretty... If you come off, it's, like, never that nice, you know? Like,
I've never gone, oh,
yeah.
that was a lovely
so like
time.
we yeah, like
Normally
we can
you're
go
like,
and feel
Oh, where's that swimming pool? I need it.
in it every year, but like
Danny.
it's nice to like feel a bit more prepared, you know. Say with our bikes, like with our freeride rigs, especially with like how bikes are now compared to how they used to be. Like you could just kind of hop on a downhill bike and it would probably be sweet for jumps, but with how much like
The racing,
things have
yeah.
gone into racing, like to get a bike
Yeah.
from a race bike to a freeride bike,
Yeah.
you need to develop it. You need to trial and error it
yeah,
to
there's
a
like-
point where it's
yeah.
like good for it.
Yeah.
They're
And,
very different now, aren't
you
they?
know,
It
to
used to be like
have time to train on it
not
and
that
dial it
different.
in.
Change
yeah.
of tyres, change of suspension a
Yeah.
bit, but now it's like
Like obviously you can still jump a downhill bike, and you can. We're not saying you can't, but it's
Yeah.
just it's nicer. It's like you can ride a downhill track and a downhill run on a trail bike or XC bike, but it's not going to be as nice as on a
Yeah.
for sure.
downhill
And
bike.
like, say if you're riding, you know what a good freeride bike feels like, you know, and
Yeah.
when you're doing tricks, say like you're trying to do a trick and like you know you can do it, but something's wrong with your bike, you know, to figure that out at Darkfest sucks. But like to have the time to, don't know, a bit of a random
No, for sure.
passage there, but
So how would you set up your bike for freeride as opposed to downhill? Just to give it a bit of a breakdown for people who kind of want to get
Right.
into freeride more.
I mean,
Basics.
you probably
The
got one
basics,
for you,
yeah.
really, innit?
For someone who's never
Why do you
done
say you have a
freeride before.
mechanic?
Yeah, I had a mechanic. So.
For me, it was just set it up as stiff and as fast
yeah, for
and as slow.
no, yeah, for
But
free ride.
no,
Slow as in like
hang on. Fast rolling, slow rebound.
Yeah.
You
Right,
know,
yeah.
so you slow the shocks down so it's
Stiff
like as least
suspension as well.
springy as possible.
Yeah.
So it's like got a slow rebound and stiff. Because I like grew up riding jump bikes, so
Yeah.
it's like one brake, 100mm fork, hardtail, slick tires. That was it. Like, and I wanted my downhill bike to feel as much like that as possible. So like, say I went to Darkfest, like, I'm like, cool, right, I know what I'm doing here. Hard as they go on everything, slick as tyres, and no gears or anything. So it's just as simple as I could as I could make it,
Because
basically.
it's like just as much as as close as what you're used to riding the most.
But I guess with a
Did you
downhill
used to-
bike, it's got to be so many things I just don't
Yeah.
even
Yeah, yeah.
begin to understand.
Did you used to have your bike like really soft and slow
When I- so when I-
at pre-ride events?
No, I've never done that.
Right.
Even since the first Loose Fest, me and Cade took a different bike because we weren't there with Cade, and we took a different bike. It was our first time riding those bikes, and we just now luckily all like the boys that had been there for ages, like obviously Nico was there. And we'd just be asking them, like, what do you do? And then they all just said, oh, hard as you can and slow as you can.
I guess Nico Vink would be the
Yeah.
ultimate guy to get advice from to
like
set
we
your
were
bike
asking
up.
him for advice
Yeah,
for all
yeah.
the bikes, then for how to do the jumps, and like
Yeah, nice.
it all helped. And then it went from having like 20 odd psi in my tires to then having 40 to 50, and then I could actually feel my suspension and do a run and feel my arms I do a meter, and I'm like, oh my god, my arms. Sometimes
it.
like at Dark Fest when we do the HODGSON compound.
Yeah.
Like you do,
Gnarliest laps ever.
yeah, you do like a turn and you're like, I hate riding my bike. It's
awful.
so awful.
Wow, I'm actually so crap. Why am I here?
Yeah, that's true.
And then
I
you-
always feel way more crap at Halcyon than I do on the dark
Yeah, then
on
you
the
can
dark
ride
fest
Dark
line.
Fest, you're like, oh, I can ride a bike.
Yeah.
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 I feel like now though, having like done it for a while and like figured things out, I'm starting to go a bit deeper into my bike setup. Like,
There's a bit, like we were just saying that the other
He's
day.
dialed
actually.
it
Yeah.
back.
We have, like you can actually press down the forks now, can't we?
yeah,
And,
yeah, they go down a bit.
yeah.
Yeah, so
And like with
yeah.
like wheels and like tires and what things roll, we just figured out what rolls fast. You know, what you might think rolls fast actually can slow you down,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
And like with suspension setups, like different, I don't know, all sorts. So
That's
I guess
even-
in a way it's developing, but we were just so fresh to it. Like even the guys that know, like they know what's good for them. You know, where like now we've done it for a while, like we can dial in what works best for us. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
That's what's sick about having here now as well. Like, just come here and like, you've done some setup with your bikes this week.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
I
always
went
on it.
from like a trail bike with like knobbly tyres to now I've got my Darkfest bike ready. And that's got everything I've got for the week. And I was literally like, the first run I went like halfway down the landing because I was like, oh, a bit faster. Like,
Yeah.
So it's mad how,
That is cool
and
actually.
it was
Yeah.
literally like a day difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like, yeah, so it's quite sick. And like, especially now with these two having Paradise here, like you can
Yeah.
literally,
Test
oh yeah,
things
you've
out.
had your own testing week.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
It's been sick.
I've never like really tested stuff before, but for me it's been like it's almost too good because I'm like I've got this whole test facility. I could just try everything, every
Yeah.
different setting,
Yeah.
yeah.
and I could be here for weeks, just like, oh, but what about this?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I can't even tell. Nah, but yeah, it is dreamy. It definitely builds confidence for going to an event and just not being like, I know what this feels like. I know
Yeah.
this is the one for sure.
It's funny because that was actually at the start of Darkfest and stuff. We were all a bit like, it's fucking hard and thingy, and then it'll be sound. And now it's like you do think about it a bit more, and like, especially because it's still the same, but it's getting better ridden in every year, and like the shapes are getting a bit nicer. And obviously they added the 110 and stuff, so it is getting bigger every year. Like not bigger, but like the vibe and everything is getting.
Yeah.
So like.
But I've got a 700 coil in the back of my bike for people at home. But my fork are a bit softer now, and I've got like thicker spokes, so the wheel is stiffer. So on those like big compressions, and it's like more stable. I've got a mini mullet, so it's 26 on the back.
Yours is pretty sick at the moment. To be fair.
Yeah. That's like a setup that like I've learned like with the wheels and with the suspension, like
Right.
how I ride my best basically.
So it's 27.5 front,
Yeah.
26.
Yeah, so it's normally a
That's quite
29 or
unusual.
27, but
Yeah.
I've just scaled
Scaled
it
it
down, basically, yeah. And it just makes it better for rotations. The big wheels are
Cool.
good back then, like I found like in spins and stuff, everyone wanted to do like
Yeah.
cork sevs and
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that. Like, it was just impossible. So
Yeah, just
Yeah.
the cork serves and stuff.
Yeah.
You know how it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, I like, for my cock serves, I like to add 29 on the front. No, but I've just set my bike up with bigger wheels
Oh,
Yeah.
right,
because
yeah.
it feels better. I'm not doing cork serves. But what does your new bike feel like? Obviously, you've got a new
So
a
yeah,
freshie for the
I've
year.
got a freshie Orbea. I'm riding a Rallon,
Nice.
and I've just put triple crowns. They've made like different linkages and like frame for me. So it's a Rallon, but it's like there's like an OLAB version, and it's pretty sick.
Cool, like
So
modded for
yeah, so
freeride.
modded, so I can put a big shock on and just like the triple crowns on. So yeah, and been riding it and it's mint. I've
Looks
got it
cool.
all set up. Got my new one all set up for Darkfest. Rode it yesterday,
Sick.
and
The, the Triple Crown slope bike.
triple crown slope bike basically. It's so small. It's a medium.
It's so light, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
so light. Yeah, put some stuff on to try and make it, because the frame's like quite light in itself. So
Because it's like a trail bike.
yeah,
Really,
so I
isn't
don't
it?
want it. Yeah, and I don't want it. Yeah, it's like a modified trail bike. So I don't want it to be the light as possible.
Yeah.
So I've just tried to put stuff on it to.
Yeah.
Which is something that, like,
Yeah.
as a free rider, is definitely a challenge these days. Like, most free riders are riding gnarly stuff, like big jumps, whatever, like gnarly free ride stuff, on an enduro bike made for a, like, set up with a downhill fork and stuff. Because the bikes have gone so racy that for free ride they're just terrible with like the
Yeah.
high linkage
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
all that stuff. Like, unless a bike's making a free ride specific bike, like as a
Yeah.
free rider, you've just got to work with what you've got.
Yeah. There aren't
Basically.
many freeride specific big bikes out there. Like most
No.
of the downhill
No.
bikes are going more and more like
So you're
towards
so you're riding an
high
enduro bike,
performance.
which like at so many events, bikes snap basically because they're built for not doing
Really
100-foot
no
jumps
names.
on. Yeah, but you know
Yeah,
they
but they
do.
all
They
go.
do like
Yeah, for sure.
every
I mean,
year.
yeah.
Every
Yeah.
year, every event. There's so many bikes that snap. Like it's so gnarly. Like,
Weekend kills.
but
So
you,
many now.
you know, like yeah.
Do you like bring spare bikes with you then to events? Or
Well,
if it
for
snaps,
sure.
then you
Like
just
if
don't.
you've got a bike that
Some people
snaps,
do.
like if you,
Depending on what brand they ride for.
yeah, if you don't, yeah.
Some people bring like their whole pit crew of them, and they've
Yeah.
got like, and they get their athlete managers to come out with a bike in case.
Yeah, but it sucks
Right.
as a free rider, like to have the, you know, you're like,
Especially, oh,
sorry, the
That's
dogs are
good.
barking. To have your like vessel, you know, your tool you use for your job, and like know that like, oh well, last time here it was in 2 pieces, like, and there's nothing you can do. And if I ride the downhill bike, I can't do half the tricks that I rely on doing for my career, basically. So it's been super interesting to see bike brands like move in the last sort of like 5 years in terms of like what they're doing, and also enduro bikes are just insane now though. Like you can do the biggest jumps in the
and
world
like
on
you
them.
do put triple crowns on them,
Yeah,
and you are like,
Yeah.
this is an insane
Yeah.
bike.
Yeah.
It's just that it is an enduro bike.
Yeah.
And like you are doing well at the events that we go to. You're doing 90-foot
Yeah.
jumps or bigger jumps.
Yeah, it's
And
not
they're
as bulletproof as downhill
No,
bike.
they're not made.
But some of them
they're
are.
not,
Even-
they're not intended to
like
really do
But some of
that.
them
to be
are-
fair to the bike brands, like you really see the bikes that like are built to the highest standard, you know, compared to ones that are like obviously built to be able to save money, basically,
Yeah.
because that is like pushing them to the absolute limit.
Like, to be fair, I'd I know I'm going to be like, ooh, Orbea, but like, to be fair, I 50-50'd the first day on the Orbea. We went straight on Oakley lap at Davy with like the Shred Mansion
Yeah,
boys,
yeah.
like, you know, they're just like, oh,
Yeah.
go on in, first
Yeah,
time on
nice
your bike,
stuff,
yeah,
man.
down
Yeah,
Oakley.
first lap of the
Yeah.
day, warm up lap on Oakley.
Yeah, I was like, I haven't been on and like I'd been away in like Canada for like a month. I hadn't been on a bike for ages, and they're like, yeah, go on down Oakley. I was like, oh, okay, sound. There's like that big transfer jump, like people might know on the Oakley jump.
The big one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the big
it's
one,
awesome.
and just fully front wheeled in. I like transferred it, thinking, oh, it's like it'd be the same as in the summer. It was
Yeah.
obviously winter and everything,
Yeah.
and just fully just front wheel cased it. And I was like, oh, it's all good.
You're like bracing yourself, it's gonna snap.
You give it a pat, say
you give it a
fair
pat,
enough,
and then you're like,
well
oh,
done,
you're all
yeah.
good. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Sure.
Run your
That's
finger
sick.
through, and there's no dents or anything, and you're just like, ah. And then, so at the moment, yeah. At
That's
the moment,
confidence inspiring, isn't
yeah,
it?
like,
Yeah, for sure.
it's sick going and then riding your bike and being like, oh, I can case a fucking huge jump and be like, yeah, all good. Well, then I cased hardline.
Which
hardline Tassie?
The case
which-
of all
yeah.
cases, yeah.
Well, I've done quite a few.
Yeah, yeah.
so big.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so yeah, at the moment it's going all good, and like I reckon if you had those kind of crashes on the trail bike a few years ago, don't
for
think it would have been the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But now they're so good.
Mm. And downhill bikes do snap as well. It's
Yeah.
just how good they're made.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Oh yeah, don't. Well,
Yeah.
How many bikes do you think will snap at Darkfest?
this year.
this
Yeah.
year.
Wait,
Depends who's learned, I guess.
Depends who's coming. Then we
Do we
know.
have a bet?
Then we know what bike they ride. And then we're like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'd say with who's coming, I'd say at least 2.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
A few wheels, maybe.
2 wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like bringing
Yeah.
a spare bike to Darkfest is
Yeah.
like a good idea.
Yeah.
Because like also,
Even if
like,
your bike is like mint.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
like
You're in South Africa. Like,
Yeah.
they've got bike shops and stuff and they stock great stuff, but like anything specific to your bike, like
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
it there is like so hard. And you've only got like one Darkfest for 1 week once a year, you know? So like if you miss it because your bike is broken,
Yeah, yeah.
like
oh, you're,
literal depression, like
Yeah.
it is
you're just sat there watching like,
Yeah.
you know, but so it's worth
Yeah.
taking to all the events really.
just a
like,
fucking clip guy.
yeah, innit?
It's like,
Yeah.
you're doing a clip? Yes. Fine.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully there'll be no snap bikes.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Hopefully everyone will be
better.
That'd be
alright.
great.
Yeah, that'd be
but-
great.
That's what we hope for.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. This episode will air after
Yeah.
Darkfest, so we can actually find out.
But if there's not at
it's-
least one, like
yeah.
no one's trying, are they?
And if someone
quite
has a
like-
spare bike and it goes and it's a funny crash, then
Yeah, yeah,
oh,
true.
it's a funny
Yeah.
whole thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like some of them have actually been quite like, not funny, but they are quite funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Hilarious.
Like everyone's
Depends
fine.
depends who's crashing.
yeah.
no, that's the thing.
Right,
though,
if
it's
they
not-
are
it's
if
not
they are an
racing.
absolute weapon, then you know they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you're like.
Yeah, but it's not like racing. You don't. Not everyone hates each other at Freeride.
yeah,
I wasn't implying that, but
yeah. We actually do get on.
peace
Yeah.
and love,
It's all
guys.
peace and love.
It is. It's a vibey. Speaking of peace and love, you guys have done some postcards
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
for our pod. Can we see them?
Was I
Mine
meant
right
to bring
here.
mine?
No, I've got yours.
Okay, cool.
So, if any of you watching this area, you've seen my beautiful RC car.
He's displayed it for you.
Yeah. we have all got into RC cars lately, and that is my art.
It's
Done by the.
proper like
Cool.
Yeah.
expressionism.
I'll
Proper.
Put it on,
Yeah.
We'll put it on auctions. No.
Sick.
You got
Um,
a bid.
It's really cool.
It's really
still,
sick.
It's
Right,
just been
leave it
done,
on
so
them.
it's still drying.
Still drying.
Crawlering's been our recent like massive hobby. Feel like we do like quite a lot of just madness
Yeah.
all the time. Like biking is quite full on, digging like
Oh, just-
quite full
yeah.
on, just anything. So recently, crawlering's come into our lives, and we just do a bit of standing,
Even
bit
done
of
some digging for
chatting.
crawlering.
Yeah, they're
couple
real.
moves, some rocks, and we're still outside. We're still like in the same environment that we're used to, you know, like
Yeah.
with like gaming, like you're like
It's kind of
inside.
like,
and,
I feel like it's kind of got the same vibe. Like all the boys are together.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's
gaming,
literally
but
like if you're
outdoors.
doing
it's like
a
gaming
online
but
game,
outside.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
biking and gaming
Yeah.
made crawlering,
Yeah.
basically.
They love it.
So, and we're also children, so we love it, basically. So we're not fooling anyone. Like we are just
No, yeah, we are
big
literally
kids
just big,
playing with
big kids.
RC cars.
Like before
course.
this, we were literally fixing the RC car
Yeah.
and then crawling
Yeah,
for like a good hour.
on a really nice sunny day when the
Yeah.
jumps are right there.
Yeah, we were waiting for you guys for like
Yeah,
an hour, and you were
sorry.
just playing with
You
your.
still weren't ready.
Yeah.
We had a few technical problems, all right?
And we could be crawling right now, but
Yeah.
Well,
Here we
let's
are.
quickly wrap it up. Show us your postcard.
okay. So, this is mine. Shall I show it?
Yeah.
Sick.
And
Do you wanna
this is
explain?
like my little world, basically.
Sick.
There's Vero and myself.
Wait,
with the
can
dogs.
I get Oski,
Yeah.
Otis,
Yeah.
Loons.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dialed.
so cool.
Dialed.
love
And we
this
got
illustration.
the house.
Yeah.
And the little road that we built with the
Yeah,
cruiser, obviously the dirt to dirt with the big soul turn,
Big DD.
and a digger. It says Loonski Land because that's what this place is called. Well, Mine's Loonski is really what it's called technically, but
Trees.
and then there's trees,
Ooh.
and then there's a ball sack. That was actually meant to be a harp, but I think I like it more that way round. There's a huge set of balls because that's what you need to ride the jumps.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
and then there's lots of wind because
We live in Wales.
we live in Wales, and there's like rain and a cloud and a sun, and the rain is kind of sad, and the sun is happy to kind of show
That
life's
is
balance.
sick.
You know,
I love it. I love it
Amazing.
so much.
there you
That's
go.
such a creative, cool little illustration.
Thank you.
I think mine took longer.
Yeah, for sure.
Drove.
Yeah, I think they're both great. They both tell a lot of stories.
Again, two different styles.
Yeah.
Two different styles of expression. It's cool to see
I mean,
how
to
you
be
guys
fair,
approach this
I did
task.
keep mine in a nice place where I knew where it was, and Vero just did the normal cleaning and then moved it. It was,
The normal cleaning.
yeah.
I'm getting roasted.
Yeah, the normal thing she does,
Getting
clean
roasted
it.
that you
I
normal
mean,
cleaning.
I did leave it in her house, but still,
Yeah.
she moved it from where I put it, and then
And then it was
I couldn't find
That's
it.
not
Yeah.
even that one. That's a spare one.
yeah,
Dora
we
brought.
had to just bring a spare one because you couldn't even find
But
it.
then, you know, you
left it in a
did.
nice
There was no expectation. I think it
No.
was delivered.
yeah.
No,
still here.
we rescued it. It
Yeah,
was,
you missed
know.
my Banksy.
I did want to see
artist.
some graffiti in that though.
I was just going to do a big chaos and graffiti.
Yeah.
That is kind of graffiti though, just with mud.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
did do a G up
Yeah.
actually.
I think they're amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
And big up to you guys for coming on and chatting.
No worries, thank
It
you
was
for
a
having
very
us.
big commute.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And it was really hard to get you away from the crawlers. So.
Yeah.
yeah, very
It's
hard.
nice. It's been nice to spend
Committing.
some time in the caravan again.
I
Actually,
know.
Yeah,
Haven't been in here since Schaefer's backyard.
Innit?
it's changed its purpose completely. Now it's a studio.
Mhm.
It's a
Big up,
podcast
boys.
Yeah.
studio.
It's
So, yeah.
whatever you want it to be, really.
Yeah, true. so
Well-
multifunctional.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. We
Yeah,
look
can we-
forward to
Yeah.
seeing.
Can we
You
eat some of
guys-
this cake now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's have some
Yeah.
cake now.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
But we'll do that
Oh.
while you wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, guys, for coming on, and
Thank you.
good luck at Dark Fest.
Big up.
And tune
Gassed
in to
up.
the next episode.
Big up.
Yo, see ya.